episode 5 of the Handy's Hobby blog. I'm Ethan Handwork. I don't think I've ever said my name before, so there you go. I feel like I may have set my hobby goals a little low this week, because I ended up getting everything I said I would do done, like, almost the day or two after I uploaded the last video, and that kind of left me free to just do whatever this week, which I actually really enjoyed. Not that I didn't enjoy, like, getting goals done. It's just like I was suddenly like, oh, all of these possibilities. Let's just go wild. So going straight into the hobby update. I got my Myphetic Blight-Hauler painted, and he came out, and however disgusting, diseased demon engines decide to identify as, it came out really well. I'm super happy with it, and now I've just got to paint 2 more of them. I've got a second one here coming along. That was one of the things I did this week. Is I busted out the airbrush. I'd already had it, I think I ended up priming this too, but I primed it black. I busted out the airbrush, did Rickarth Flesh, washed it, and then I did my first dry brush layer on this one for the armor plates. So, yeah, this is another one in the pipeline, and I've got a third in the mail, because I really want to run a tri-lobe with my Death Guard army. So yeah, the Blight-Hauler's done. The 5 Poxwalkers I said I would do, they're done. They're in a case right now, so I don't feel like getting them out on camera. You can go check out my Instagram account, and there's photos of all of them up there. I shot them all, did them all each in an individual shot, as well as a group shot. So they're done. And then I got 10 scouts assembled this week too and primed. So they're good to go. I did end up picking up a Stern Guard kit, because the other thing I managed to do this week is finish stripping all of those Templars that I started at, 5 weeks ago, basically. They're all stripped. They're all, I'm pretty sure I put all of them on 32s, and if I didn't do all of them, it's only 1 or 2 lying around. It ended up being about, I didn't count on the last batch, plus a couple of things, I think it actually ended up being 60 to 70 Marine bodies, and about 15 to 20 of those were actually scouts, but still. So yeah, I did a little bit of kit bashing to get some of the older ones up to shape, and get them with the loadouts I want. You end up kind of losing some arms and bits here and there, especially for some finickier, smaller stuff. You're scrubbing away, and it's like, oh, I just broke that purity seal. Who will? So yeah, that's all done, which was great. And then the rest of the week, I was a complete and total hermit, which meant I had all of the time to do whatever I wanted, which I'm happy about. My friends and colleagues, probably not so much, but I also managed to get some actual professional work done, sort of, semi-professional. Same project I mentioned last week. Spent about 5.5, 6 hours on that, and yeah, just banged out some work on that. I don't want to tell you too much about it because it's a work in progress right now. We're probably not gonna be done for a year. But actually sitting down and working on a whole bunch is nice, because that's not something I've been doing too much, or as much as I should have, at least. And this series kind of helped me get that kind of inner discipline going, so that's good. So those were the hobby goals. They're done, but I did so much more than that. I actually had to write it all down. So early in the week, I busted out my Xandri Dust. Xandri Dust spray, and I rebased about 10 of the spiders from the Skull Pass kit, cleaned them all too. And the basing I got, like the original spray base coat, was not good. I don't think I shook the can enough, or maybe it was too humid that day, but it ended up coming out really dusty. And I wanted to basically practice using my airbrush on these, because I think there are enough of them that I will be able to get a lot of practice in, and if I, mess up a little bit, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. And I had a really great idea for some, like, light, whitish brown, like, kind of albino-y cave spider look. So, did 10 of these, airbrushed a whole bunch of them, and then, like, they were still just super messy and gross, so I was like, alright, into the bucket with you, we're gonna strip you. So, I painted and stripped, I painted 5 spiders with an airbrush, stripped them, and then stripped the other 5 of their base coat, and then resprayed them with this base, and this time, it's a perfect priming. I also did this fella up here. I'm gonna have to reach. I went through my old goblin stuff this week, because I decided, well, I've got all this free time. Let's dig into the stuff I got. Let's see what I have. Let's look at all the things I was gifted last week. And I pulled out my old Ragnarok. This was fully painted at one point. I did not strip this because I was just like, there's no way I'm not just going to break this thing all to pieces. It's big enough, and the details on it aren't so finicky that, like, just rebase coating it would hurt it. So I ripped it off its old base. I've got the correct one up there. It's probably going to be the I think it's called the Skitter Strand, the one that, like, I think it's like an ambushy Ragnarok spider, because the howdah on this thing is just gone. I don't know where it is. It's I at some point tried to magnetize it with these little, like, 16th inch rare earth magnets, and it kind of worked, but it was like one of my first attempts at really doing magnetization. So based him too, her giant. These look like egg sacs, so it's probably a female spider. Not that that matters. So yeah, I did that. All of today, I have been, like, cutting the metal tabs off of about 20 squigs I have, like the old metal squigs, and I think it's 15 or 14 handlers, and just pinning, like, a foot into all, like, rebasing all of them. I also stripped all those models this week. Like, I stripped something to the effect of 20 squigs, 14 goblin handlers, and 7 or 8 fanatics that I have. Yeah, and then I had a couple unopened blister packs that were gifted to me. That's for shamans. So I did a lot of drilling metal, pinning metal, and gluing metal to bases today. And I've been at that all day. And just going over my Night Goblin collection, or my Gloomspite Git Moonclan Grot collection. Yeah, that was a project. I'm blown away by just how much I have ready to go. I'm really, really looking forward to contrast paints, because I have a whole Moonclan Grot army that's just good. Like, I'll probably end up, like, posting a picture up on my Instagram account of it, but I've got them all set out on my drawing desk right now just to kind of, like, inventory, and that's just stuff that's on the right bases and ready to go. Like, I still have a whole box of grots just that need me to go shave their bases off and glue them to 25s. And, like, there's probably another, like, 10 to 15 Spider Riders in there, too. And I've still got, like 40 grots on frames. Like, I have so many grots right now. There's an unassembled grot box there. I picked up a squig hopper box and a squig herd box because our hobby shop couldn't get the Loon Curse box. So what GW did is they basically just sent all of the contents. Like, they were promised Loon Curse boxes, and they couldn't deliver. So they instead sent a bunch of like squig hoppers, squig herds. I think some Sylvaneth too. Just I think for free. I can't remember, but they have way more squigs and stuff than they want. So they cut me a deal for 50% off. So I got a squig hopper box and a squig herd box for like $50, $52, something like that. Like half off MSRP for both of those boxes. So I was just like, yep. As soon as someone told me that the hobby shop was looking to do that, I was like, yeah, I do like two-legged frogs with teeth that are red. They're awesome. They're the best. They chew on everything. So yeah, I've got to assemble those. I think next week is going to be a lot of assembly for those grots, because I think at the very least I want to open up that unopened grot box and make some stabbas, because the Skull Pass kit has poking spears and shootas, or bows and spears. So I want to have a unit with the stabbas too, because they're kind of in the middle ground. And even further this week, I also got my Blightlord Terminators. I got some decent work on them. I'd had them primed already, and you're not really going to be able to tell what I've done on them in this video, just because the light is not great, and the camera quality is not great. But you can kind of see how, like, I basically did the two, like, main things for all 5 of these guys, which was do the armor and do the, well, I haven't finished the metal trim yet, but the armor is completely done. It's like a 6 or 7 paint process. Base the whole model Rakkar's Flesh, wash it Athonian Camo Shade, dry brush it Strachan Green, dry brush it Nurgling Green, dry brush it Screaming Skull, and dry brush it Pallid Witch Flesh. So 6. 6 different paints on it, and you get progressively less and less paint as you do like a really heavy one for the Strachan, then you do a slightly less heavy one for the Nurgling, and then up and up and up and up until you get to the Pallid Witch Flesh, where you like barely have anything on there at all. And it gets you this really nice, like, mottled, dusty kind of like looks like kind of dried snot, sort of. Or like you've got a cold phlegm. And then I just got done doing the Nihilok Oxide Wash on the gold. So what I do for that is Retributor Armor. I think I've told this one before. It's Retributor Armor. I wash it Agrax Earthshade. Then I do Nihilok Oxide, wipe some away. It's just kind of let it get into the corners, but take it off of the flat surfaces and the raised areas. So yeah, I've done all that on them, and I think they're probably going to be part of my hobby goals this week. What else? I realized that all of my Chaos Knights were not on the correct base sizes, so I had ordered some bases and were waiting for them to come in. They finally did, so I rebased them, and the one that I had completely painted, I finished, like, I did a complete rebase on them. Like, I mean, when I say I rebased them, I just cut them off the old bases and put them on the new ones, except for the one I had painted, which I've shown on here before. And I'd seen GW's official video for how to do like various kinds of bases from the Mortal Realms, so I've always kind of conceived that this particular faction of Slaves to Darkness is from Ulgu. And they go around and they they hunt down information. They're Tzeentchian, and they hunt down information about the Age of Myth and the world that was, and try to eradicate it from the world. And just kind of spread disinformation by destroying the past, basically. So I'd seen the video for how to do Ulgu bases, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I got the skull box in, so I threw some orc skulls down on it. And I based it Astro Granite, the texture paint, washed it Druchii Purple, and then let's see, it's this one, I think. Gene Stealer Purple and Demonette Hide. I'm sorry for bumping the camera. Demonette Hide, and then I put some Valhallan Ice, the snow texture paint down, but then while it was still wet, I took my brush and I kind of just wetted my brush and kind of stabbed at it and shifted it around and waited for it to dry, so it got a little purpley too, but it also diffused a little bit. And then I went back and put a little bit more on areas where I was like, okay, this is where the snow is really heavy. Put some texture grass down. I'll probably take some photos of that tonight and post them up before this video goes up, just to show it to you. Am I forgetting anything? Nope, don't think so. I think that's, like I said, it's been a busy week for me. I just, every day I had off, I just came in here, sat down, worked, and I am a happy camper about that. So, moving into hobby goals for the week. I want to get some of these, I want to get these Blight Lords finished. I don't think, looking at them and knowing how I do my Nurgle stuff, that I can finish all of them this week. I can probably get really close, but I don't think I can finish them. So I'm gonna say 3 Blightlord Terminators to completion. 3 of them I'm sure I can get done. I also want to get my Squigs assembled. I'm going to pick one of those boxes, I'm going to put it together, and I may do the goblins too. I think I just said earlier that I would do that, but I actually do want to get the Squigs. That's what I have written down here, at least. So, one of my hobby goals will be to just pick one of the 3 boxes of unassembled stuff I have, and assemble it and prime it. Well, no, not prime it. I'm waiting on priming all my goblin stuff because I think I just want to prime them one of the 2 new sprays for contrast paints. Yeah, I'm leaning towards the bone one. I'm not quite sure how that's going to look with black. I can't find that specific example, but I think I want the goblins to lean a little bit warmer in hue than cool. So I won't be using their kind of super off-white high gray. And then for the Eternal Crusade this week, I would like to get 5 Sternguard assembled. I didn't actually assemble any Sternguard from the box kit I have. I just turned a bunch of armless Marines or beat-up Marines that needed some love into full-blown kits. They're into ready to be primed, ready to go models. And once I have those 5 actual Sternguard ready to go, I can probably start running 2 units of 20 with just all the combi weapons in the world, basically. So I'm going to put them together, and then I'm going to try to get either 5 scouts painted or 2 Marines with heavy weapons painted. Because right now my only options for painted heavy weapons in my Marine army, I run 2 Devastator squads with just about any kind of kit I want to. I know I got 3 las cannon Marines just sitting there. I know I got 5 missile launchers. I have all the things. They're just not painted. So self-imposed rule says I can't use them yet. So at either 5 scouts, because I don't tend to paint them quite as detailed or methodically as I do the Templar, like the actual Space Marines. So 5 of those, or 2 Space Marines with heavy weapons. Yeah, I like the idea of all that. I like how that sounds. This was a slightly more succinct video, which is good, I think. Yeah. I'll see you next week, hopefully. Oh, and I've been getting a lot of traffic on Instagram and stuff. Thank you all. Some of you have sent me some nice messages, which is I really appreciate that. And some of y'all have been following me, and I'm still going, still here. If you're, hopefully you're. I don't know the best way to communicate how to get those particular people to watch this video, because I know from the metrics on YouTube, either you guys aren't finding it or you're not watching it, which is probably both. But then again, this video is not about you. It's about me and keeping myself to a schedule of some kind. But it would be cool if more people watch these. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the likes and traffic and stuff, the kind words, and I'll see you next week.